Guys, it's Jenny and Mimi, founders of the naughtynutritionist.com, where we're all about teaching you easy tips and strategies on how to lose weight and reach your health goals without giving up on all the fine foods in life. And if you guys have been following us for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about a really hot topic on the sugar series. And we've been talking a bit about the science and the psychological aspect behind sugar cravings and how it's all related to weight gain. And one thing is that sugar is pretty much hidden in everything that we eat. We don't want to demonize it necessarily, but we want to show you how you can still have your sugar sweet treats without putting on like the pounds with that. So we thought we'd do something fun today and show you how to read a label, show you what's in our cupboards, and just go over that. And if you have any questions at all, just type them below and we'll be happy to answer them. All right.
Yeah, definitely. We decided we wanted to start in our kitchens this week. Sorry, I'm echoing. And we really wanted to navigate our kitchens with our phones, and we wanted to show you in our cupboards because it's really nice to see, you know, behind the scenes, especially nutritionists, because you might be thinking, oh, we're like super clean all the time, but that's not necessarily the case. So I'm just going to kind of go through some of the stuff that's in my kitchen because my fiance is particular about certain brands that he buys. So I do have some processed stuff here, some stuff that I wouldn't necessarily eat. I also have a toddler, so, you know, I'm kind of catering to her needs. And then on top of it, I am a nutritionist. So you kind of have like 3 different worlds that have to be combined into one. And I can show you guys, you know, what's in my stuff compared to Ben's stuff, for example, or Olivia's stuff, etc. And I think we will have to do an episode where we can kind of navigate so you can see like literally what is in our fridge and literally what's in our cupboards. So you know what kind of brands we're buying and what's out there and how to make healthy swaps. But for now, we're just going to kind of talk about sugar. We're going to talk about sugar on labels, how to read that label, how to see how much is too much. If you're buying a product and you're like, I just don't know, like there's a little bit of sugar here, but kind of how to figure out if it's the right thing to buy. And also Myrna's going to be giving you a couple of examples of some healthy alternatives, healthy snacking, even prepackaged stuff that is healthy that we totally eat. And we're going to be putting them up against kind of some of the unhealthier things that I have in my house. And yeah, because we always say that sugar is kind of hidden in everything. And it's literally hidden, like it's in fine print on the ingredient list. And big food companies do their best to try and kind of persuade you to buy their products, whether it's healthy or not. They use fancy labels and terms like natural or whatever, no artificial ingredients, etc. I thought that it would be really good to start off with condiments because condiments is like the first spot that has a ton of hidden sugars. So I am going to bring out something that you might kind of hate me for, but don't. I'm just going to show you guys. And that's ketchup.
I know. Mine has, you know what? Mine's organic. It still has.
Yeah, you can buy organic ketchup. And to be honest, like the ingredients list of ketchup isn't like crazy. There's not like too many processed ingredients in this list, but there is a lot of sugar. And we have an article coming out next week that talks about reading labels. So I'm not going to dive right into like the nitty gritty of actually reading a label because it can get kind of confusing and we don't want to like overwhelm you guys. But the first place that you generally look at is the ingredients list. And you can look for sugar. If there's a lot of sugar in that product, it'll probably be one of the top ingredients on the list. So that's always where we go to start, not calories, not even the nutrition facts on the label, like this part right here. It is the ingredients list. So on this ingredients list for Heinz ketchup, you have about 4 grams of sugar per, and it's not even like whole sugar, it's liquid sugar. I honestly don't even know what that is, but it's 4 grams of sugar per 1 tablespoon. So you think about a tablespoon, you're having an English breakfast on Sunday, or you're giving it to your kids. And like, how much do kids love ketchup on food, right? You're just squeezing it. And so 4 tablespoons, that's 1 gram. So if you remember last week, we were talking about what the American Heart Association recommends for sugar. It's about 6 grams for women per day of added sugars, and about about 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day for women, and 9 teaspoons for men. And 1 tablespoon, this is getting a little confusing, but 1 tablespoon of ketchup has 4 grams of sugar, which is 1 teaspoon of sugar.
I'm just opening my fridge. Sorry, I got curious about the. I know it. Okay, so this one has 2 grams of sugar.
Okay, so that's like a
better.
A
like I knew.
difference. Yeah.
So it's like half.
So that's 1/6 of a female's daily added sugar intake. That's just kind of what I wanted to go by with. So you don't think that it's a lot, but then when you're having sugar, then you're having, other condiments in the day, and you're having bread, and you're having this, and everything has added sugars. Added sugars add up, right? So ketchup, sorry guys, but it is what it is. Other salad dressings. So this is clearly Ben's Thousand Island salad dressing. I don't even want to talk about the ingredient list because it just is, ugh. But the sugar has about 3. So it's kind of on par. 1 tablespoon, 3 grams of sugar, kind of on par with ketchup. So if you've had ketchup and Thousand Island in your day, you've already had 2 teaspoons out of the 6 or
Who
the 9.
has like a tablespoon of ketchup?
Kids.
I know. Well,
Kids
more.
There's so much ketchup.
You would have like so much more. Usually not even just 1 spoon. You would have like.
Yeah. Anyway, so there are like better alternatives for condiments. I love mustard. Whole grain mustard is awesome. It makes food taste awesome. You mix whole grain mustard with a little bit of full fat Greek yogurt. You have something that's creamy but a little bit tart. It's just a great food. It's a great condiment to have. Very minimal ingredient list. And guess what's not even on this label? Sugar. There's no sugar in this.
So I'm gonna.
We have carbs, but it's 0 grams.
Yeah, that's another good Canadian brand. For mustard.
Yeah. That's a really great brand. They have so many different flavors.
They're amazing. Yeah, I recently bought one with, I think it was rosemary, and it was delicious. Okay.
If you're in Toronto, you can find their brand at St. Lawrence Market.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's in Loblaws in Sarnia.
I think I've seen it in the bigger, like the bigger stores, but I'm not too sure which one. Either Metro or Loblaws or Sobeys, one of those.
Metro's good for having like random condiments. They're really great. Pickles. So these are the sweet ones, obviously, because Ben doesn't like garlic dill. So for 2 pickles, you got 6 grams of sugar.
Wow.
So, I mean, they are sweet, so there's sugar, but it's just another thing. So you've had some Thousand Island dressing on a sandwich maybe, and then you put 2 pickles, and where are you at? This is just showcasing how added sugars add up. Another thing that people don't, I'm going to make this just kind of go a little bit faster, but another thing people don't really know is that yogurt has so much sugar in it. So we're talking about like 6 grams, 4 grams, whatever. 19 grams of sugar, and this is kefir. So kefir has been like popular lately because it has the added probiotics in it, and if you get like plain no taste kefir, it's great. But this one's the strawberry one, so they're adding sugar to it, which kind of defeats the purpose of the probiotics because bad bacteria eats. Anyways, that's a different day. But 19 grams, that's crazy. That's like 5 grams of added, 5 teaspoons of added, I'm getting confused between 5 teaspoons of added sugar when the AHA is saying for females have 6 a day. So you have a cup of this, you're reaching your daily recommended allowance.
So the
Just
better
an example.
The better thing is get your own fruit. Obviously, it's going to have the natural sugars, and maybe add a teaspoon of honey or something, or maple syrup. And I find it tastes more delicious, but I don't know. I think my taste buds have adjusted as well.
Yeah, I've gotten Olivia just used to plain. She loves it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let you take over, because as much as I want to like kind of dive into other things like bread and cereal and kid stuff, we just are limited on time.
Well, maybe it's a good thing to talk about energy bars. When I was at the CHFA show, this is one of the biggest trade shows for practitioners, where they release all the new products. One thing I noticed, and we got a lot of samples, and the most samples I have is of energy bars. And it's really no-brainer. Like, everybody's busy, so they're looking for foods or things to eat on the go. So I have a few energy bars with me here, and cookies and all of that to compare. So let's start with, for example, I think I have the good stuff, the better stuff. Not necessarily the good stuff. They still do have added sugar. But for example, something like this one, it says sweet and salty, and it's a honey bar.
Oh, this one's too.
I did try it. It was delicious. It has a total of 10 grams of sugar, and obviously it's from the honey. However, like, the ingredients are pretty simple. So it has like peanuts, honey, peanut butter, crisp brown rice, almonds, sea salt. Like, there's nothing else. Mm-hmm. So I would say if you've had a busy day, and it has like, it still has about 7 grams of protein, and it has like 2 grams of fiber, which is just around 10% of your daily recommended amount. So I wouldn't say this is necessarily so bad, but 10 grams is still quite a bit. Yeah. If you are somebody that works out and moves a lot and who have been walking around, this could be an okay choice, because the ingredients are so simple, and it's honey. It doesn't have like all these weird types of like sugars in it. It can be okay. However,
I'll just compare that, because these are also sweet and salty, and they have 10 grams, but the sugar that these ones contain, high maltose corn syrup, which is a highly processed sugar. I don't even know if I can find them all right now. There's honey in it, glucose, fructose. Like, it's just, the list of ingredients is like, there's like 50 things on this list. These are the PC ones. And I know they're a little bit cheaper, but if you read our article next week, then you will see how to read labels. And then you can, because there are cheaper brands that have less like crazy ingredients.
And I know some people say that sugar is sugar is sugar. And yes, like, just because something is healthy, it doesn't mean that you should be eating more of it. Just because it's healthier, like in terms of anything, whether it's sugar or it's anything else. Like, you don't want to be overeating any of your macros. Like, you want to have that balance. But I think me and you agree that sugar in this case is not sugar. So for example, one of my favorite snacks are dates. And dates are quite high in natural sugars. So this is like, I don't want to scare anybody off, but 1/4 of a cup. So 1/4 of a cup, which is, I don't know how many dates that would be, maybe 5 or 6, something.
Are they made, Jewel? Are they the big ones?
Those are the smaller ones. So they're small ones. So it's going to be about 5 or 6. It has 28 grams of sugar. But we have to think that it also comes with the iron, the zinc, the calcium, the magnesium, the potassium, They have fiber and they're quite good for you. Don't go overboard. But one way I love to eat dates is I just open the date up, I cut it up, and I stuff it with like almond butter or peanut butter, or even just almonds or like any nuts. And it tastes
goat cheese if you don't have a dairy intolerance. Goat cheese is great.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never
it's like that sweet. Oh, I love the sweet and like cheese, like fruit and cheese together. It's so good.
Yeah. So another thing is, because yesterday we had a couple of questions from Amy and Kelsey on cookies and alternatives and all of that. And this is a really, I love this brand for cookies. Like, it's a healthier brand, but just to show that even a healthier brand does have a lot of added sugar. So this one cookie, it's pretty tiny. It has 21 grams of sugar in it. And one of the first ingredients on this thing it's dairy-free chocolate, but then one of the first ingredients there is organic evaporated cane juice. So that is like the sugar. And then after all of those ingredients, then we have, organic evaporated cane juice. So yeah, and then more of that. And yeah, so brown rice syrup, molasses. So they've thrown in quite a bit. So even though it's organic, they're delicious. They are quite sweet. So maybe making something at home with a bit more, I would say, healthy fats or nut butters would make the sugars at least more slowly absorb. Because this one does give me like a sugar rush. Yeah. So that's with this. I think I wanted to show, and I made these over the weekend. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but I made these over the weekends. They're very simple, and they only have less than a teaspoon of maple syrup, and they're quite sweet, plus whatever's in the chocolate. So this is, they're like chocolate balls, and inside you have coconut and maple syrup and shredded coconut and coconut oil and maple syrup and vanilla extract. And almond flour. So at least you have the healthy fats to balance those sugars out. So what else for healthy snacks? Another thing I think we got a lot of requests on are chips, because chips would tend to have like this long list of ingredients, especially if they're cheese flavored or something like those different flavors. So our recommendation is go for something simple. So you can have something like, this is a really good brand for chips. And I'm going to just read out the ingredients. So you have stone ground whole corn, sunflower oil, sweet potato, then sprouted seed and grain blend, sprouted quinoa, sprouted chia seed, and pure sea salt. So this is all that's in this. And then if you want to make it like into an even better snack, you can just dip it into an avocado or like some hummus or whatever you have lying around, like some nice dip. And for all our chips lovers, Amy and Kelsey, this is another good brand. So they make, so they make great like bean chips. So this one, again, it's like whole black beans, sunflower oil, long grain rice, sea salt. That's it. Like, this is what you want to be looking for.
Those ones are so good too. They're made with beans, so they're incredibly high in protein, and they are so filling. Like, have it with a little bit of hummus. You have the protein from the chickpeas and the beans, and you need like 5-6 chips, some hummus, and you're like golden.
Yeah. So this one has 10 grams of protein for 1/3 of the bag. Well, I guess you can. Yeah. So it has 10 grams and 10 grams of fiber, which is like almost 50% of your, like it's 40% of your daily recommended amount. So that's really like another good savory one. I'm more of a savory person, is popcorn. Oh, yeah. Popcorn. And I love this like in the evening if I want to snack on something, because they're also very, like, popcorn is very high in fiber, and generally like, no, it doesn't have really much sugar. So popcorn is another great one. I have so much stuff around here. Yeah, I wanted to talk quickly about this one, rice cakes. I know a lot of people love them. I love them. They're usually very high on the glycemic load. So it means that when you eat them, your blood sugars might go higher faster. So one good way is to always put something on top of them, like top them with something to slow that down. And last quick one here is roasted chickpeas.
Yeah, I have.
So you can make these at home.
I got the good bean ones. Yeah, they're really easy to make at home. You just wash them, pat them dry, roast them. We actually have a recipe on the site.
We can post it below in the comment.
Yeah, they're awesome. And the one last point I wanted to add is that you don't have to obsess about sugar. I just use the AHA as an example because it's a good guideline to go by when you're looking at labels. 6 grams or 6, I keep mixing that up, 6 teaspoons of added sugar a day. 4 grams is 1 teaspoon. So we can write that down. We'll put that in the comments just so it's a reference to go by, or you can go to their website. And it's just a good thing to have in the back of your mind, not saying obsess about it because we don't want you doing that, but it's a good guideline.
Okay, awesome. And for today, we have a special little book that we're going to post below. So we have a 7-day recipe book with some delicious desserts.
Yeah.
That you can make at home. They're really easy, really simple. So we're going to post it so you can download those awesome recipes. Yeah. So that's it from me. Anything else?
No.
Yeah.
Enjoy your night, guys.
All right, guys. All right. Bye. See you soon. Bye-bye.